Sometimes storyline functionalities doesn't match your creativity to build advanced interactions, but fortunately Storyline offers the option to add JavaScript to your e-learning courses. And in this first video in a series on how to use JavaScript in Storyline, I'll show you step by step how to add JavaScript in Storyline and how you can let JavaScript and Storyline variables interact with each other.
Hi, I'm Spermon from Upward Online Learning, where I teach you how you can create e-learning modules yourself with Articulate Storyline. And are you new here? Then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Are you ready? Then let's get started.
You can create really engaging e-learning courses with Articulate by adding snippets of JavaScript code to Storyline. Storyline can execute the snippets when timeline starts or when a user clicks a button. Now, in this first video of my series on how to use JavaScript in Storyline, I'll show you a couple of simple examples on how to add JavaScript to your e-learning course. And I'll also show you how Storyline variables and JavaScript can communicate with each other. Now, enough theory, let's start with our first example. In this example, I'm going to add a simple piece of JavaScript code that launches an alert box on the first slide of my course in Storyline. So on this first slide, I'm going to create a new trigger. So I click on New Trigger. And for the action, I choose Execute JavaScript. And you'll see now the word JavaScript is red. You can click on it and now you can fill in your JavaScript code. So I fill in here alert, I'm an alert box. And this means that alert is a JavaScript function that if this is called, a web browser knows to launch an alert box, and the text between quotation marks is the content of the alert box. Now, if I click on OK, you see that the JavaScript text turns blue now, so you know there's JavaScript code filled in. Now, let's click on OK and let's preview this slide. One moment, because we don't want it when a user clicks, but we want it when timeline starts. So when timeline starts, this slide. So let's click on OK and make sure it works. So now preview this slide. And now you see that you get a warning. JavaScript support is not available when previewing your slide. So you must publish to test if JavaScript works. But you don't have to publish your whole course. In Storyline 360, you can also publish single pages or single scenes. So let's close this preview, go to publish, and I choose web, and under publish I don't want to publish my whole project, but I want to publish a single slide, 1.1 welcome layout. So I click on OK, click on publish, and now I click on view project, and here is I'm an alert box. So this works. So let's continue with our second example where we use a Storyline variable in JavaScript to show it in our alert box. In my first example, there was a standard text on my alert box, but now I want that the user can fill in their own custom text and that text is displayed in the alert box. So in this example course, I add a blank slide, and I do this by going to New Slide, Basic Layouts, and I choose here for blank. So now you see a blank slide is created in the scene. And the second step is now to add a text entry field on the slide. So I'll click on Insert, go here to Input, and choose a text entry field, and I draw it on my slide. Now, when you add a text entry field on your slide, in Storyline automatically generates a variable. You'll see here the name of the variable. In this case, the variable name is text entry 1 with a capital T and a capital E. Now, let's add a button on this slide that triggers the alert box. So I'll go to Insert again, go to Button, and I draw a button on my slide, and I type alert box. And the next step is to add a trigger that launches the alert box when we publish the course. So I'll go to trigger here says execute JavaScript in JavaScript. Now click on the red JavaScript so you can see the JavaScript window, and now I will paste my JavaScript code here. And there are 3 lines of JavaScript code, and now I'll explain per line what the line of JavaScript code means. So with this first line of JavaScript, var player is get player. You request all the variables from Storyline into JavaScript, but we only need one variable, the text entry 1 variable. So that's the second line of our JavaScript code. With this piece of code, var Storyline var is player.get var text entry 1. You'll get the contents of the Storyline variable text entry 1, and you put it in the variable Storyline variable. And the content, what the user filled in the text box in Storyline, is now in the JavaScript variable. Now, and on the third line of code, you see the alert statement. And between quotation marks, there is a static text that says your input is. And between the plus signs, there is the variable Storyline var, and where the content of the text box is stored. And the dot between quotation marks at the end is static and placed after the text that is stored in a JavaScript variable. Now let's publish this slide and see if this works. So I click on OK here. Now I'll click on publish. Wait a moment. I'll publish my second slide. Click on publish. Click here on view project. Now what I can do is add some text to my text entry field. I types in here, hello world, I'm Mark, and now click on the alert box, and you'll see that in the alert box says your input is hello world, I'm Mark, with the dot at the end. So maybe you're asking yourself, yeah, how can I use this in a course? Now this is especially useful if you have a course with a lot of variables and that doesn't work as expected. So you can use the alert boxes to debug your Storyline project. And this is a simple way to add JavaScript to your Storyline project. This was my first video in a series on how to use JavaScript in Articulate Storyline. Keep an eye on my YouTube channel for the next video on how to use JavaScript in Storyline. And have you any questions about how to use JavaScript in Storyline? Place your question in the comments below this video and I'll promise to answer it.
If you want to build your Articulate Storyline skills, then make sure you get my free step-by-step guide on how to create engaging e-learning in Articulate Storyline in less time. And I will know for sure it will help you because it shows you my exact process that I'll use for every e-learning module that I built in Articulate Storyline. You can find my free guide on upwardonlinelearning.com/free guide. And if this video was useful to you, then hit the like button below. And don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel by clicking subscribe and clicking the bell notification icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos that I publish every Thursday on YouTube. Thanks for watching and have a great day.